Hope you guys are having a great Friday. Let's go ahead and jump right into this pre-market brief, preparing for the day after yesterday's big pool. So we are going to start by looking at the global markets and seeing how Asia and Europe did, and that giving us an idea of where we may be going in today's market. As far as American markets. So as we can see, we see the Kospi, it dropped another negative 1.44% on the day. The Nikkei is up actually, so that's the Japanese markets by 0.81%. In Taiwan, just about broke even. So a mixed day as far as Asian markets. When we're looking at the European markets, we see that they are actually up mostly as far as their markets on the day. We have the Stocks 600, which is the overall European markets at plus 0.1%. We have the CAC down, which is French markets, and the German markets are also up by 0.21%. So that's solid. Crypto is actually surging a little bit on today. So recovering a little bit from this whole week of just pullbacks and bad news and the market sentiment being very detrimental to a lot of the stocks, including Bitcoin, which I would suggest that people average down or get a long-term view when it comes to Bitcoin instead of having that short-term view and suffering emotionally. But the pre-market and the crypto market is looking pretty solid. As far as the pre-market in our portfolio, we're looking pretty green. I think it's pushing very green on this morning. A lot of recovery. SanDisk is up about 5.43%. And yeah, we're looking pretty good for today to maybe recover a little bit. Not really, it's just a slight push up. But we are going to go ahead and take a look at the averages to get an idea exactly of where we are on the day by looking at the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ specifically. And let's look at this monthly time frame. We have our little red candlestick showing the pullback that we've had this month so far in the market. But let's go to the daily time frame. Looks like we are still pulling. We had a big drop yesterday as far as the daily time frame is concerned. Let's look at our 4-hour, bring our chart analysis back up, and it looks like we're still dropping. We broke below this lower boundary at $6,838. So we broke below this lower boundary that we had set as a most recent floor, and it looks like we set a new floor right here at 6,780. So we'll go ahead and move this down. We don't have a ceiling yet because we didn't push up, and we will move this lower floor right here. Let's get a little bit more detail, see if we can get an idea of what we're doing on the hourly time frame and the 30-minute. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. Basically what we see is we're still in a downtrend. Right now, actually, we might have the opportunity for a change in trend, but let's look a little bit at this. So we had this recent floor hit, which was the dip that we saw in the daily time frame, but we pushed back up, we pushed back down, and then we had a higher low right there. But yesterday, during the last hour, we dropped back below to this new low right here, below that most recent higher low. So today is going to give us an idea of what we're going to be going into next week. But right now we are still heavily in the downtrend. As you can see, I'm just be moving these around. We've had lower highs right here. This is the first one on this 30-minute time frame. Right here, that's a lower high. And then we had another lower high, and that's just in line with what has been happening in general. So right now, for the day, what we're going to expect is we may have a little bit of a recovery from the heavy pullback that we've had this week, but in general, we're going to just be looking to average down in stocks that pull back on the day, because this pre-market surge that we see in the portfolio or in the markets, more than likely, some of this will sell off during the day. It seems this year that people have gotten a lot, or institutions have gotten a lot more active in the pre and aftermarket hours to somewhat manipulate the feelings of the market and sometimes sell at market open or buy the market up at market open. So you just have to be aware of that. But today we are definitely looking for the market to act like it's going to push back to the top side, but more than likely just pull back a little bit heavier and continue that downtrend. But I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's seasonal pullback that I was discussing in the aftermarket brief. And we're going to look at Apple stock specifically to give you guys an idea of what I was talking about when it comes to this seasonal pullback. I'm going to go to the monthly time frame on this stock just to get a better idea of it. So this is the monthly time frame for Apple. And what I want you to notice, so this is January, right? Or this is December. So we had that pullback, and right now we're a bit positive this month because we had that initial surge at the beginning of February. The first few days we had a push, but then we had a small pullback. Now we're going to go back 12 months to last year. What happened last year was we had that dip all the way up until April and May, and then in June we began the recovery and push back to the upside. This is the pattern that I was discussing yesterday. Now let's go back another 12 months. Another 12 months, it may not have been a heavy pullback, but as we see, it somewhat was. So we had that pullback all the way up until April, and then May, it began pushing back to the top side. This is the pattern that I was discussing. It's repetitive. Now, it's somewhat changed in 2023 or 2022. In 2023, and I believe that's because we had just came out of a somewhat unstable 2022, which was very detrimental to a lot of stocks in general. Most stocks dipped heavily in the year 2022, but here in 2023, it rose from the beginning of the year to that middle point of July, and then it went stagnant and hit a sideways trend. But let's go back another 12 months and see where it was. So here's 2021. What happened? We had a pullback all the way up until June. And then that June was a turning point for either the stock market to go higher or lower, but it went lower because that was during the pandemic. So it went lower. But in general, that first 6 months of the year, what we see is this pattern repeating of a pullback into April, May, and then in June, when the summer hits, everything recovering and then heading to new highs. But that is just one of the patterns that I've seen. I want to get more detailed as far as the monthly time frame, like I said yesterday, just so that in those seasons when the market is tentatively pulling back, the portfolio performs better. So more than likely right now, I'll be loading up on Apple, loading up on the stocks that are pulling back in the market. And then when that June mark hits, I switch to loading up on the other stocks that typically do well in the first portion of the year. So by January, those stocks are loaded up on, they've been pulling back in the market and they're ready to soar. But I wanted to show you guys an example of a stock that is phenomenal, recession proof, one of the most amazing stocks that I've added in my own portfolio and my daughter's market portfolio, and it's called Casey's. I don't want to give it out, but I'm going to, because I think that some people watch my videos or watch the information that I put out, and the information gets somewhere, and there's market manipulators that attack those stocks. But we'll see what happens. So if Casey's stores start doing horrible all of a sudden, then I guess thanks to me. But anyways, so here's Casey's. Now, what do you see is different here? There's no dips. It's just a general strong either sideways to uptrend, but mainly just an uptrend. It doesn't have the seasonal market dips that Apple has, which is a recession-proof stock, one of the most phenomenal stocks that I found last year that I added to the portfolio and to my daughter's portfolio, and which has given my daughter's portfolio a push over even the S&P, the NASDAQ, maybe even the Russell 2000 this year. So my daughter's portfolio is leading. It's only about 5 or 6 stocks. I'm gonna give that to you in a second. But I wanted to show you guys these in comparison just so that you all have an idea. So we're gonna go to the custom Apple. Let's go to monthly, and then we're gonna go to Casey's down here. Bam, monthly. And as you can see here, this is a bumpy ride. It's seasonal, but Casey's is just strong, right? It's a straight shot compared to this bumpy journey for Apple. So that's just an idea of what to look at whenever you're trying to get the seasonality of a stock, or get an idea of what kind of investing experience you're going to have with it. But I wanted to show you guys, or tell you guys, a little bit about the 3 main stocks that are pushing my daughter's portfolio right now into the positive, that's beating the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones on the year so far. And those include Casey's, which we just saw. Beautiful. Then Fix. You guys, people do not understand how big this stock is. This stock has been rising dramatically, not FICO, F-I-X, Comfort Systems USA. And you've probably seen their van around. It's that blue and red little arrow symbol. I don't know. I've taken pictures of it, but it was cool seeing it here. I think I saw it in Oklahoma too. But basically, this company is the foundation of the industrial boom and the AI boom. They are the electricians, they are the services, the HVAC that build the manufacturing plants, that build the data centers, that is the foundation of this AI boom, and has been surging since last year. I believe in my portfolio, I'm up about 170% on this stock, just from repositioning it in my revamped portfolio that I restructured last year. And it is phenomenal, and it just continues to surge, and nobody's talking about it. I don't understand why. I remember on the last earnings call, they discussed how their backlog just continues to grow. And with the tailwinds that we have from the administration, with the just general temperature of the market in regards to the spend for AI and manufacturing plants and the growth of industrials in the US, I'm telling you, add this to your portfolio. It is phenomenal. Can't wait to their next earnings call. It has been somewhat steady this year, somewhat of a sideways trend, but just in general, it's a solid stock, solid company. Stay tuned for what they're going to be doing next. Also, obviously, in her portfolio is gold. So we have Casey's, Fix, and gold as the main players that are putting positive pressure on my daughter's portfolio for it to rise. The other 3 include MasterCard, which if you listened to my video yesterday, the aftermarket brief, and you heard what the Affirm CEO said that they want their company to be. They want their company to be like a MasterCard or Visa. So Affirm is going to be huge if you don't know it. I would add it to your portfolio. They are making major moves, I'm telling you. But MasterCard and Visa, they are pretty solid stocks in general when it comes to the market. They hold steady. Let's look at the yearly time frame to give you a better idea. You see this? This is what you love to see when it comes to a yearly portfolio, a yearly stock. And even in 2020, still green. 2021, not that big of a positive impact, but it still didn't go red. It's going to keep your portfolio lifted up during those recessional periods. Let's look at Visa. I think Visa is a little bit better. Visa is just V. It's pretty similar, but it had a bit of a drawdown compared to MasterCard. But in general, these are just non-volatile stocks that hold steady progress and generally back up the world. There's nothing really going to really affect those two. Now, one stock that I recently found, if you look at dividends, if you're looking at dividend income, YMAX, solid stock payout. So the biggest thing about this stock is not this chart, because it follows the market, and it's an exaggeration of the market, but it's very unstable. But when you're looking at dividend stocks, you're not too focused on, you do want capital gains on the stock, but you also want to focus on the the dividend yield. And the dividend yield here is 87%. So that's income that my daughter will either be able to, or my daughter will be able to reinvest or use as general income. 87% return on your money. And this pays out monthly. Actually, they just switched it to not monthly, but weekly. So I get a check every week from this stock and various other stocks in the YMAX library of yields of dividend stocks to give me income, but also give me capital gains depending on which stock or which company they're attached to. But yeah. So one thing I want you guys to focus on when it comes to the market in general, if you're going to be watching me, is I'm a long-term investor. I did the day trading, I did the swing trading, which sometimes I may delve into it depending on how I position myself in the market. But typically I hold for the long haul and I depend on dividend income as far as the stocks that are in my portfolio. And having that long-term view, having a 5 to 10 year view on where you want to be is key. If you look at some of the posts that I've made on Facebook, I put out things where it said if you held this stock for 5 years, if you held $1,000 of this stock for 5 years, then you would have $6,000 or $7,000 right now. That stock will be worth $6,000 or $7,000. That's the time frame and that's the timeline that you have to get focused on when it comes to investing. The short term, yes, there are stocks like SanDisk, which is up about 70% already on the year. Bam, look at this. Boom. 142% on the year. I got in late, but 142% on the year. There are big winners out there where they're going to surge on certain news, certain environments that are going to be, like, boom, I got this money quick. But majority of the time, you're going to have to disregard your feelings, disregard everybody else, and understand that you have to have a long-term view if you want the most benefit from investing in the stock market, doing your research, understanding the companies, understanding the business side of things, not only for your investing, but in general for your own business. If you want to eventually push your business to be an IPO on the stock market, if you want to grow your business into a Fortune 500 company, you can learn a lot of the details, a lot of how the market and how people invest that will help you position yourself in that position. Other thing, news does matter when it comes to stocks, okay? We're not going to discount the news, but it's more of a milestone tracker. It just keeps you up to date on what is happening and if your company is being active and is continually progressing towards the milestones that it has set as far as getting to the earnings that it needs, getting to the revenue that it needs as a company. The last thing that I wanted to point out was that politics is important, but mainly the thing that we focus on is not the drama, but the policy, the laws, what's getting passed in the Senate, what's getting passed in the House, what are those committees doing as far as the crypto markets, which is huge. That's what we're waiting for. That's what crypto is waiting for. And hopefully by June, they have that substantiated. But other than that, I believe that is all. Majority of this pickups are in the green. Oh, most of the pickups or the additions that I made to the portfolio that I put out there as far as posts and things, they are mostly in the green as far as the year is concerned. So definitely follow. If you have a stock or anything that you want me to look at or that you're interested in investing in and you want an idea of what I may think about it, feel free, send me a message, send me a comment, and we can invest together. But I'm on my 5-year plan. Hope you are. Stay focused on the long term, get out your feelings, and stock the future. It could change your life, giving you the ability to leave your job, fund your dream, and live the life that you want in the long term. Yeah, you guys have a great morning. I will talk with y'all maybe later if it's a dramatic day. Peace.